Hello everyone, welcome back to more chess. We're playing as white against Andiga 2011, 1510. Start as usual with the king's pawn. One of these days I'd like to try d4, but I don't know. I'm still not at all familiar with how any openings really go, so just getting having some idea of what's going on in any opening would be nice. I mean, I could develop the knight. I can develop this bishop. I don't know, let's just go with the knight. Or is there some reason? No, this is bad. Yeah. Well, no, I sort of okay, right? I always forget the queen is there to guard. It would be interesting anyway. What? Why? I guess you threaten to mess up my structure a little? I don't really care. Why don't I just do this? It's a great position for my knight, not easily kicked by any pawns. If here, I'd happily pick up the bishop. I think if I do this, the bishop has to move. Makes it a little harder to hang on to this pawn, I guess. Here. But then I can take, and after recaptures, defend. Or maybe defend, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This seems interesting. I don't see anything obviously horrible about it. I guess the main thing would be here, step back, and then try to attack this pawn, and I can't actually put a pawn in the way because my pawn is pinned. I don't know. This seems interesting. I didn't really want to do this, and then like here, my pawn structure would be all messy. This is just a good place for a knight. And this is a bad place for a knight because my pawn is contesting it so well. This is really surprising. I thought if they were going to develop it, would go here. I'm happy to take the bishop for a knight here, I think. Like, I get this pawn as well? Oh my god. I gotta be careful. This is like, I'm so far, it looks like I'm so far ahead. This almost has to be a trap. So I can afford to spend some time double checking, like, is it a trap? Why not do this? They left me up a bishop. What is the move? Like, knight takes here, I guess? Here, unveiling this? I don't know. Give me the knight. They still don't want it. What the heck is going on? Is this like checkmate in one against me? It doesn't look like it. There's some like advanced bond cloud stuff, just getting king e2 the slow, king e7. I'm sorry, the slow way. What bad thing happens to me if this? It has to be a queen move if there's anything, right? And she's only got a few. This is fine. This is great. This is fine. This is great. This is fine. Great. Fine. Yeah. Let me trade off this knight. What the heck is happening? Check. Just sort of doesn't really do anything. They could block with bishop, but then I get to trade more, so I don't think they will. I think they would just block with pawn. And then I have to back up anyway. And I think they probably want to do this, so I shouldn't provoke it. Well, no, maybe they don't, because it weakens this pawn. It makes this a hole. Yeah, let's go for that. I'll develop this, then they block, and then I back off to, like, here. I gotta be careful. Once again, I set these guys up so that if this pawn pushes, I get forked. I shouldn't have done this. If I take, then they actually don't recapture. They push this and fork me. So I shouldn't allow that. I think I can put queen here and be okay. Or maybe castle and prepare rook here. I mean, also, like, being forked wouldn't be the end of the world, since I am ahead, but it would be a bad thing to do. So suppose I castle, and they take. Takes is alright. Push is fine. What else can this queen do? She could target this pawn, but that's okay. Let's just castle. I want to get something on the e-file before I try to mess with this pawn position. I shouldn't have put the bishop here. It should have gone here, I think. It would make this a bit weaker, but I don't know. Maybe here was okay. This bishop's undefended now. Kind of vulnerable to this. Ah, yeah. That's true. So now, yeah. That's maybe why I couldn't castle, why I had to put queen here instead. I don't know, it wouldn't have helped, would it? I'm not sure. So I can't actually escape anymore. This leads to here. This makes this fork happen. Although, back up, fork, pin? That's kind of a cute idea. And then I can escape with the bishop after that. Let's not... Yeah, okay. I don't know, it doesn't actually escape. Oh, now it can. Check. So I'm not very developed. My opponent certainly has that going for them. They have many fewer pieces on their back rank, but whether you consider that an asset or a liability remains to be seen. So they still can't take here. I've got this pin. And I could move the knight, or I could just contest this directly. Here, they move the queen or something, maybe. Takes, takes. And then I get the knight out of the way. I'll happily trade with you, I think. This anything? No. I don't think so. I gotta just watch my king. That's like my big... The only way they're gonna win is with some trick against my king, right? Or maybe my queen. I think at the moment there's nothing disastrous going on there, so let's just get a bishop off. Attack the queen, adding a defender to this square so that I can take and actually win it. But then the queen might move somewhere where she attacks this. I guess that's fine. It's defended, right? This is getting a little bit worrying if I let them take like so. This queen can't actually do much there. Oh, I had the rook guarding this as well, so I don't even have to take with the knight, which I don't really want to do because it exposes this for some kind of sacrifice ideas, maybe. So perhaps here. But then if takes, there's this. I don't want to allow. What if I just push this pawn first? It means I won't be winning a pawn. But it means I don't give them this file. I think that's worth it. This knight's a little bit short on squares, it must be said. If attacked, he might have to retreat. But that's fine. Here's not a bad spot for him. My pieces aren't developed, but they're actually doing a fair amount, I feel like. I don't know. Right? We've got this, these, this. Somehow the spots they're in aren't that bad. But I do still have an undefended rook over here. If takes here, I think I take with queen rather than pawn. Yeah. I definitely don't want to expose this idea. Or create this isolated pawn. Happily trade, even though it means I don't get the file. I don't have a good alternative, really. Like, bishop here defends the rook. But I just want any piece of material you can get off when you're at +6 is great. And I can just develop bishop here later. Honestly, king might be pretty happy here now that I look at it. Protecting these squares the rook might try to enter on, and shielded from file checks by this black pawn. Are they thinking of queen takes, maybe? I think I'd be happy to make this sacrifice here. Draw the king forward and start doing stuff like this. It's probably not sound, but it seems like a fun idea. I don't know. It's probably just like not worth doing until you've at least developed a rook. Which means you have to develop a bishop. Maybe even just to here, actually. Yeah, this is a great spot for the bishop. This is like attacking a bunch of squares that don't matter. Here, we're kind of watching over this potential battleground. And we're shielded by a pawn. Blockading this guy doesn't seem that useful. Surely there's no tactic with this check. I can't imagine. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we're just going to win. I'm not going to wait the full 12 and a half minutes to let their clock actually run out. All right. I mean, I don't know what the analysis is going to tell me. Obviously, my opponent made a large number of blunders in the early game for no obvious reason. Okay. Oh, a perfect game. Look at that. It's sort of easy to be perfect when your opponent makes huge blunders because even mid-sized blunders by you don't drop that much. Still, I wouldn't mind framing this and putting it on my wall. It said only one blunder. After that, the game was over, and so your other blunders didn't matter. What was their inaccuracy? It was Queen D7. Yeah. So this, I feel like this should have counted as an inaccuracy, but okay. And then this is obviously a huge blunder. It gives up the knight. And then not taking here, they're like, yeah, that's bad, but you were dead anyway. That's interesting. Losing 4.1 is just an inaccuracy. Yeah, this is what I was saying. It's like once the game is over, which it is at this point. Um, I mean, I don't know. I could certainly blunder away this position, but for like a strong player, the game is obviously over here. And at that point, any mistakes you make are like, well, is it really a mistake if you were going to lose anyway? I don't know. Very, very mysterious. Well, we can at least review what Stockfish thinks of my opening. And things take the bishop out. It's substantially better, huh? I mean, I get it. Bishop b4, it like attacks the knight and threatens their pawn structure. Maybe that's a good enough reason to play it. I'm just surprised it's so much better. A6. Why don't I just trade and win a pawn? There must be some tactic or something? Apparently. Queen attacks the knight and x-rays the pawn, and I can't defend both. Okay. But I didn't do that. I played here. Followed up with what Stockfish says is the best move, attacking the bishop. And yeah, I thought they should go here. If they were going to move the knight, or else move the bishop. And apparently they're both fine. But this was not good. Okay. And I'm just watching the eval to see if it drops at any point, if there were any like serious mistakes I made that the analysis didn't bother pointing out because I was already winning. This apparently is bad. You are just supposed to take here, but I was worried about like this. I guess it. Oh, look at that! Knight defends. I didn't see that. Okay, cool. Knight also defends this pawn, so I could have taken that way instead of with the queen. But I like developing her fine. And then they gave up. All right. Let's do a couple puzzles, maybe. I'm black. This pawn is pinned, so what about this attacks the queen? And, like, obviously, I don't know. What does the queen do about that? We're attacking the queen, and we're also threatening to take here if the queen moves. She could move to, like, here. I don't immediately see where that's going. What about just rook here, support? And then this? Actually, this kind of sucks. Because queen can just take, and then all the pressure on their king is gone. So I could do this to support this, to reinforce the pin, right? And then plan to push this. It's pretty slow, and so it doesn't seem that likely to be best in the puzzle, and it ignores what my opponent might do. For example, here, check, could be a problem. This passer is pretty cool. Oh, wait a minute. There's this fork right here. What about this? Obviously, on the face of it, it forks these two pieces. Is there some reason why that won't work? Some in-betweener they have? Here, check, maybe. Sure, that is an in-betweener. Step up here, though, and I don't see a follow-up. Well, I guess push again threatens to promote with check, so that needs to be addressed. So I guess actually, if here I would do better to get in the way there, but yeah, this is covered by the queen. So I think this is fine. Yeah. Now, we can take the rook. Is there something better? Don't think so. Okay. A simple enough puzzle, but I'm bad at forks, so I'm glad that I noticed one. Ooh. I'm white. I'm down a rook. But the rook is somewhat poorly positioned. Maybe. I don't know. Can I do this? It seems like here, and the king can't get involved if I have these two moves in because we're covering all of this. But then I drop this pawn and I don't have any follow-up threat. So I feel like it has to be here first. The king still can't get involved, and the rook can't yet do anything very important. So maybe here. Now push. Then the rook blockades, and we keep pushing this guy until... Well, okay, you step up here first, but then you keep pushing. Actually, it could here. Oh, this doesn't defend. Yeah, okay. So you have to step up. No, sorry, we were going to do this first, right? Or can I afford this first? Here. Now my king is stuck. He has to defend both pawns. He can't do that. So I think we have to go here first. And if the rook steps up immediately, we can just push this pawn. Which speeds things up even more, I think. And the king can't really do anything. He can just go here, I guess. I think this has to be right. Ah! I guess the point is, but... Yeah, I guess getting here doesn't really work, because we can stop the king from getting involved. Huh. Something like this, we would react with pawn push. Or no, we would just promote with check. So what was I worried would happen after this? Oh, dang it. Here we go. What? You already showed me the solution, didn't you? Oh no, I haven't seen it all. I don't understand. Here we go. I was really confused. We'll just hit show solution because I already clearly lost. Okay. And so I was kind of worried about this, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really worried about anything in specific, and that's why none of it worked, so there wasn't any of it. I thought somehow the king and rook would coordinate here, or the rook would pick this up. But that doesn't actually work. So why, then, is this so horrible? It gives the rook time to go over here and do what exactly? Ah! There's a problem with this move, which is that it releases control of the c7 square, allowing the king to get over and interfere with promotion. right? This is my only chance to play b7 with tempo. That's why I have to do it now. If I just, like, make any passing move, the rook gets out of the way of this attack, and now any attempts at promotion are met by king here, which is just doomed. I can go here, but I can never actually push through. The king gets there to defend. I see. Okay. I'm black. This is kind of a cool idea, forking the queen and the king, but there's a bishop there. What can one do about such a thing? Also, my bishop's under attack. Takes, takes. Is there some reason this doesn't work for white? It gives me this, but they can take with king or bishop and be okay. There's this check, but it's guarded by a million pieces. I can do this first, king here. Oh, and then I can pick up a pawn with check. What does that accomplish, though? It would force king here, yeah? But then... I mean, this all seems very forcing, so it's worth investigating, I guess. Here, and all this is covered. The knight covers these squares. Actually, the king could go to either of these two, now that I look at it. But I could pick up yet another pawn, if I wanted. On a4. This drops the bishop. Or I could move the bishop. Or try to do something else forcing with my rook. What exactly would that be? Well, the only obviously forcing moves are, like, take the bishop. But I think they would just happily recapture. This knight is really important to this whole thing, but I don't know what to do about it. I don't think the bishop is really contributing. And I don't think this accomplishes anything at all. Well, it does put a piece here, I guess. Oh! This capture is no good. Check. Suppose bishop takes. Checkmate. This exposes my rook to the e2 square, and the king can't move. So, we know that this forks the king and queen, and the opponent actually can't recapture it, so we just pick up the queen. So this is basically forced. Yeah. That's cool. We'll tag this one with fork and, oh my gosh, so many different things. Pin, I guess? We pinned the bishop. Sort of. It's a weird kind of pin because it's pinned to nothing. It's pinned to an empty square. Not to a piece, but it's a really important empty square. All right. Oh no, another pawn in game. I used to think I was good at these. You remember those days? Hmm. Well, it seems like there's, I guess, 3 candidate moves, right? Takes, push, king up. I don't think push is very good because king here seems very good for my opponent, keeping my king out of the action completely. And then all I can do is push this for a while. And then eventually I have to move my king. And I don't really want to. I want to control all 3 of these squares. So I don't think it's this check. What does this do? Here and probably takes, right? I can step up. And then it's funny, it feels almost like a weird kind of Zugzwang thing, right? Where both kings want to control all 3 of these squares to stop the other king from entering and attacking one of the wing pawns here. So I wonder if it might be like here, here, and then we each make slow pawn moves until we run out, and my opponent runs out first and has to move his king. Like, I feel like that can't really be the puzzle. It's just too cute. And I'm sure that I'm like missing some more important idea. So the other possibility would be king up. What does this accomplish? Takes would be kind of cool, I guess. So king up. I don't quite see what this does that's different from here. There's also something about like, aren't knight pawns a little bit harder to promote? I don't think it matters because we're gonna have a bunch of pawns, and I can just try to get my king to pick off one of their blockers or something. But I'm kind of like, I think this might be wrong because it puts all my pawns on the G file, which is a little bit harder to promote. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the rook pawns that are harder. I think it might only be the rook pawns. I don't know. Because, like, it's tough to... If suppose you have a rook pawn and you get it to here, a king planted right behind it is tough to dislodge. Whereas if you have a pawn here, you can get your king to either side of it to provide support for promotion, even if the enemy king is over here. So I think this is horrible, but I can't decide between the other two. I mean, maybe this is right and I'm just bad, but to me it does not seem good. Takes, takes, then what? Here, right? I'm gonna try that. Okay, he chases that pawn, so we go over here. There's no sense defending it. So I thought this pawn push, but like it doesn't really matter. Eventually you have to move it. Is that what Stockfish is seeing? Yeah, look, we are both moving slowly. Look at that. It says things are getting worse, but my job is to just like not budge. And apparently for some reason this makes the position easier for me. Sorry, I'm supposed to not capture? Oh, why? Just some weird stockfish king shuffling, I guess, and then we capture? Okay, sure. And then we block the king and go promote. Oh! Something I didn't fully consider that explains why it was that I'm able to go over here and pick off his pawns, but he can't get to mine. Is this pawn does a better job at defending itself than I realized, right? This is totally unapproachable by the enemy king. He can't attack his own pawn, and my pawn defends the other approaches to it. So as long as I never let him get here, he can't get through. And so you can do all this pawn pushing, but it doesn't really accomplish anything. And it actually says I should come up here, which, fine, whatever, I guess. I'm just going to take this. You can't convince me that's wrong. It needs to think a little harder to get there, I guess, but yeah. And then we... Like, why don't I just push? Now it's saying go in for this, but it's also saying it's horrible. Okay, and I guess we just abandon that pawn and say, fine, I'll take both of these. Okay, anyway. I'm going to rate this one up. We're not going to do the next puzzle, but we'll finish with a puzzle storm. All right, I'm black for this storm. Let's pick up the rook. Check. Mate. Grab the rook. Checkmate. I guess just win a knight is good enough. Checkmate. Is there some reason not to take the bishop? My rook is hanging. That's a little weird. But I had this discovery in the end. So maybe it's important not to let the queen come here with check. Nope. No, hang on. Why not send the queen there? Check. Yeah, checkmate. This is a check. And then this is checkmate. Okay. Pick up the queen. Pick up the rook. Pick up the queen. Check seems good. And then the queen. Check. Mate. Oh, did I get that wrong? I put her in the wrong place, didn't I? King move. Where to? Does it matter? Oh, wait, hang on. What about taking the knight? Yes, and then we can keep the king away from all of our pawns. Discover an attack against the queen. Can I do that in a forcing way? Not really. What about this attack? Comes with check. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, this is good because... No? I thought we would have some back rank stuff after. Check. Yeah, that seems good. Check? Yeah, pick up the queen, of course. Check and win the queen. Threaten checkmate? Oh, better move fast. All right, not a great performance. Spent a long time on this one and still lost. So I thought if king here... No, what am I talking about? Attacking the bishop doesn't do anything. It's the rook. So here... Why don't they just take this? I had this discovery. Right. Okay. Well, I saw the idea of, like, this discovery, but I didn't... I don't know, I just, like, overthought what I was supposed to do with my king first. It's a weird place to start the puzzle, but okay. Good puzzle all the same. This one, I instantly found the wrong move. Here, yes, I missed this queen. So you do... I was like, I thought both of these squares were fine. And they would be if there weren't a queen here. Okay. This one I spent 10 seconds on. And I thought after here... No. I tried this, didn't I? Because after takes, queen takes, this would be checkmate. So the queen can't take. But the queen can do this, and then I don't get it. This is still wrong. I disagree. It's obviously correct. Oh, maybe I could just do something more forcing. Forget this stupid thing. Just go back here and deliver checkmate. Hang on. It's not checkmate because the queen blocks. But you can trade queens and then win a rook in a forcing way. Whereas what I was doing takes a rook. And this is not checkmate? Are you sure? Oh, because the queen can block. I saw that she was out of... Well, I guess she could have gone here, and I just didn't realize how important that was as a resource. I see, but she has this in-betweener of picking up my rook and defending checkmate at the same time. All right, good puzzle. I missed it. Any other slow puzzles that I solved? These times aren't too bad for me. I'll take it. Okay, that's all for today. I moused over this. Sorry to get you excited. We're not doing another. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.